Hey everybody. Hey everybody, it's Eric Johnson here. Um, as you all know, the last video that I did was about going out to West Yellowstone. I went inside the entrance and I went to 9 Mile Hole. And at 9 Mile Hole is where the rock is that is in the double page uh, pictures in The Thrill of the Chase. And my thought was that, you know, Fenn has always said the blaze will stand out, it'll be unusual, it'll be whatever. And that rock that's in on the left side of that two-page layout always struck me as very unusual looking. And so I thought how odd it would be for Fenn to literally put the blaze in the book. People have said, I think someone asked him once, do you discuss the blaze in the book? He goes, no. Well, he doesn't discuss the blaze in the book if he just has a picture either. So I went and I found that rock, and the videos are about me finding the rock. And so I thought what I would do today is, but before I go any further, I should say this about that whole trip. People gave me a little pretty positive response. I'm going to read some comments today about that whole trip. By and large, pretty positive response. And a couple of people very nicely said, well, have you forgotten about things like, he said he would bury himself there and all that. I had never forgotten all that, but I'm at a point, folks, where I will tell you I'm at this point. I'm at this point, quite frankly, with the chase, that there are so many ideas I've had. Fenn has said this thing or that thing and kind of blown it out of the water. And I think some of the veteran searchers, many have been doing it longer than I have. I can't speak for them, but I think they know what I mean when I say you almost get to a point where you just have to kind of just say to hell with it, that I remember that he said something in an interview back in 2015. You know what I mean? Because I know he said that about burying himself at the rock or the treasure chest. See, he said the treasure chest. He didn't say the blaze. And I had speculated that maybe up under this rock that I show in that video, maybe he had found an opening in that rock and he'd put it up inside the rock. And so people were saying, well, he wouldn't wrap himself around beneath the rock where it's all hollowed out because it's right next to the road and it's, kids could find it or fishermen would find it. It's a pretty horrendous thing to find a dead body wrapped around the bottom of a rock. Yes, I understand that's all true. And I understand that would be horrible. And no, I don't think Forrest Fenn would do it. All I knew was I had this one idea. I think I wanted to go on a trip. I think that's part of it. And I was like, I'm going to go check it out, and I'm just going to show people what that rock looks like. And people made it very clear. Some people said, people have already been there, done that. They've been after that rock. People have been to every, someone said people have been to every fishing hole that Fenn ever talked about up the Madison. Is where I was. I was right inside the west entrance of Yellowstone on the Madison River. It's called 9 Mile Hole. You can look it up. I gotta tell you too, it was so funny. I was kind of stupid in the video. I go, you know what? If you want to know exactly where I'm standing, just you find it yourself. And I don't know why I do that. It's not like I'm there. Right? I'm showing you the rock. It's stupid. I don't know why I do things like that, folks. I don't know. But anyway, it was so funny because within a day or two, Troy Barlow sends me, I think he private messaged me. I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it. And he sends me a picture of the map. I think he had an X right on the rock. He says, is this what you're looking for? Is this where you're at? And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly where I'm at, Troy. Troy Barlow's a trip for those of you that don't know Troy. I'll put his link in my description. He's very, very knowledgeable about this chase. Very knowledgeable. he gives me more ideas than I even know what to do with. You know, he's one of those guys that has so much knowledge about 10th century stuff. You just go, I mean, really, it's quite amazing. But he hasn't found the treasure. I think he works in conjunction with someone, which is cool. But that was so funny that he just like sends it that quick and just, is this it? I go, yeah, that's it. What was I even thinking that people wouldn't know where it's at, especially when you got people like Troy Barlow. A lot of smart people involved in this treasure hunt, very knowledgeable people. So what I would like to do today is, I'll try to put a picture of like I said, I couldn't find Troy's. It was either a message or a comment. I couldn't find the comment. I don't know where it went. He sent all this other stuff he sent me. I couldn't find. I mean, I did find, but so what I'll do is I'll go capture that image. I'll go look it up on the map, and I'll show you a satellite picture of where the rock is for those of you that care. But of course, as I said, I don't think it's a blaze. Now, it may be the blaze if you're looking down the river. But my theory about it being underneath the rock, up in the rock, I think that's pretty much, it seems like it's shot. At the end of this video, or videos, I'm going to show you guys a new blaze. It's real cool. It is sent by another commenter. So many smart people are looking for this, and they're so free with their information, which I should learn to do more. I mean, people say they appreciate the information I'm putting out. But I mean, when I say things like, if you want to know exactly where I'm standing, look, find it yourself, that's pretty crappy. I mean, and it was stupid and pointless too. So this guy sends me this wonderful blaze that I'm thinking I might even check out for my trip. I've been debating whether to go on the trip. I gotta tell you guys something. I came back from Yellowstone and was so depressed. I mean it. I was so depressed. The thing about Yellowstone is, I'd never been there in my life. And of course, Yellowstone's the place that Fenn has said is magical and the most wonderful place he's ever been. And he spent his summers for year after year after year in Yellowstone fishing, and his whole family would fish there, and they'd all over Yellowstone and even outside of Yellowstone. I mean, Montana, Wyoming is the area of Fenn's youth. And that's why I always say I don't think it's in New Mexico or this state, even Colorado, even though I went on a couple of trips to Colorado, because I think the memory he has is youth based. I think it's because it's outside. It's someplace outside. The treasure chest is not associated with any structure. We know that. He said that a couple of times. So some things, if he repeats them, I kind of write it down, you know, in the margin. This is for real. And so I think it's not in a building or anything. Someone recently said they think it's in a deposit box. No, it's not in a bank. It's not in a structure. It's the treasure. I think the blaze could be. I personally don't think it is, but I don't know. So anyway, what was the point I was going to make? The point I was going to make is Yellowstone is it's an overwhelming place to be. When you talk about a poem that starts out, or actually the actionable part of the poem, after, you know, as I've gone alone in there, and with my treasure bold, I can keep my secret where and hint of riches new and old. Begin it where warm waters halt and take it in the canyon down. That's the first actionable part of the poem. Fenn himself has said, begin your search, but begin where warm waters halt. Yellowstone is begin where warm waters halt. Warm waters halt could be the entire park. He could be telling you to start with Yellowstone Park and maybe leave the park. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm doing that. But Yellowstone is a magical place, and Yellowstone is just absolutely full of places where warm waters halt. A guy speaking about, a mountain man speaking about Old Faithful. One of the first people to see Old Faithful back before there was Yellowstone Park and all that. I mean, that had been designated a park. He literally described when the water would shoot up warm or hot, And he described that by the time it reached the ground, it would be cold. Talk about an incredible where warm waters halt. The water coming down on the ground after the geyser has burst up this hot water, it comes down cold. Times 10, 20, 30. I don't know how many geysers are in Yellowstone. There's not only geysers, there's hot pools. I was out there this recent trip. It was in the upper 40s, around 47, 50. It was cool air. I had a couple of magical moments where I was driving around the park. I went all the way up to Yellowstone Lake and all sorts of things. But I was driving around the park. And I got into these areas where there were just these pools all through these little meadows. And I don't know, normally in the summer when it gets up to the upper 70s in Yellowstone, or maybe 80, I don't know if it would be that dramatic. But in that weather, with those temperatures being cool air, all you saw were these everywhere. Smoky water everywhere. It was incredible. It was so cool. I was just mesmerized. Excuse me. And all of those, to me, are places where warm water halts. It surfaces, it runs off, it cools down. Geysers blow up, the water comes down, it cools out. Excuse me, it cools out. So I went into almost this depression because it was really cool to go out there and see it. And I really feel like it's magical, and I really feel like Forrest Fenn, the treasure's out in either Yellowstone or areas right near it. And of course, my search now is basically on the Madison River somewhere, going all the way from the Gibbons and the Firehole all the way up to Three Forks. Three Forks is the place I was at on the trip. And again, I was so stupid. I'm not going to tell anybody where I am. If you recognize this restaurant, you'll know where I am. I was in Three Forks, Montana. So stupid. I don't know why I make this such a big mystery to everyone but myself. Or maybe I'm making it probably more of a mystery to myself than everyone else. I don't know why I do that, but I'm getting over it. Because it's just so difficult to find this. I think I could, well, at the end of this, I'm going to show you a blaze. I'm going to show you a blaze that's a commenter. Put right there in the comment section. It is so freaking cool. Now his attitude was, I don't think it's the blaze, but let me tell you, it's a cool blaze. So I'll show you. But what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to go over some of the comments, and then I'm going to add the blaze, the new blaze that a commenter has added to the fray, and I think you're really going to like it. And this is one of the reasons I do these videos. I do these videos because there are so many smart people watching and searching and watching videos like mine and other people's. And their comments are better than my observations. I mean, where this guy, I don't know how this guy came up with this blaze, but it far exceeds any blaze I've come up with or even heard about. It's in Montana. It's not far from Yellowstone. It's not far from, I believe it's in Custer, Gallatin. I mean, it's amazing. I just was like, that is really amazing. Does it fit all the criteria of the poem? I'm not sure. But I'll tell you one thing. And let's remember, Fenn once said, you have to follow the poem. There has to be a begin where warm waters halt. You have to follow it in sequence. You cannot be driving down the road like dumbass Eric, way back when I was in Colorado, and I suddenly see this huge chimney, biggest outdoor chimney fire I'd ever seen in my life, on the side of Bear Creek. Just happened to be going up Bear Creek, thought I could find something on Bear Creek, and lo and behold, here's this huge fireplace chimney for outdoor cooking in O'Fallon Park. I thought that could be the blaze. But as Fenn said, you can't find the blaze that way. It has to fit in the poem. So this blaze I'm going to show you, I have not done the homework to find out whether it follows the poem, but it is very, very interesting. Okay? I think you'll agree. So I'm going to go over some of the comments. I got pretty good comments. I got some pretty good comments. People were pretty positive about it, which is pretty cool considering it wasn't the blaze. And for some people, I'm sure they were just kind of going, oh, come on, man, that's not, I mean, no, it's the wrong idea. But people were cool. They were like, well, you know, it's cool to see it. It was cool to see where it was. It was cool to see what it looks like in the video. It's very cool to see something that's in the Thrill of the Chase, the book, that you can actually see in video. People pointed out other people have been there, but a lot of people that commented had never seen it before. So it's on video, and I think it's cool that I did that. I mean, yeah, people may have seen it 3 years ago in a photo that someone posted, long time forgotten by a lot of newcomers to the thing. So for those of you that haven't watched the video of where I'm standing with the rock and talking about it, you might find it interesting. All right, I'm going to go over these comments quickly. This happened a few times. Mr. T said a couple of weeks ago, he said, the water's not right, the background's not a match, or that I can see from the photo. Then he says, after a second look, I believe you are correct. It is correct. That rock is the rock into the Thrill of the Chase. That is the rock that's in the double page photo outlay. But I also said maybe that double page photo outlay is why Fenn keeps saying, it occurred to me one day, maybe that's why he keeps referring to the full page ad. Remember he said, back when he first opened his art gallery, he said nothing really happened until we put in a full page ad. More in a second.